Hello and welcome to today's permitting workshop. My name is Yuri Konikov and I will assist during today's virtual session. Before we start, I'd like to review a few housekeeping items so our virtual audience members know how to participate. Your microphones have been muted to reduce background noise. There will be specific times during this meeting when audience members can participate. The first way is by typing your question into the questions section at the bottom of the GoToWebinar interface. Those items will be read into the record by a meeting organizer at the appropriate time. The second way is by clicking on the raise hand icon indicating you wish to speak. A meeting organizer will announce the next speaker at the appropriate time and unmute their audio. Please minimize any sources of background noise and speak clearly into your microphone during your allotted time. I will now turn control over to Adam Temple, who will be moderating this virtual session.
Hi, thank you, Yuri. Good morning, everybody. My name is Adam Temple. I'm the Director of Development Services for the City of Boynton Beach. It's a real pleasure to be with everybody this morning as we're excited to introduce our new and exciting SagesGov platform for e-permitting solutions. This morning with me on our team, we have Michael Jerahan, who's part of our core implementation team, Deborah Mazakis, who's also part of our core implementation team, and our project manager, Patsy Grissom, is also with us this morning, along with our SagesGov partners who have been with us along this journey for the past 7 months or so. The purpose of this morning's webinar is part of our educational campaign, part of our implementation, is to introduce to our customers the new system and software before we go live tomorrow morning. So we wanted to provide an introductory overview of the Sages platform and how this will benefit our customers as we move forward. Some of the changes to our processes that you'll notice in our phase one. This is a 2-phase project. Our first phase, which will be going live tomorrow morning, is our application intake. So the customer the submittal portion and the plan review portion of the project. That was a process that we began back late last year with the selection of the vendor, and for the past 6+ months, our staff has been hard at work getting ready for our launch tomorrow morning. The phase 2 that I mentioned a few moments ago will cover our mobile inspections and permit issuance portion. We're excited about the getting started with that shortly after we go live in the next couple of weeks. So there'll be some continuous improvements that you will be seeing for the next several months. And for the next year or so, as we slowly bring on the rest of our development services divisions on board for electronic permit review. So one of the most important things that you'll see is that our staff for the past several weeks has been putting together informational tutorial videos customized to our process. So when you go onto our website, our Boynton Beach website, and you go onto the Sages portal tomorrow morning, you will see our videos on there as a tool and a resource to help our customers navigate our new process. We hope that this tailored and customized approach helps minimize any issues that may occur. And with that, one last thing. One of the most important things to remember for our design professionals and contractors is that unprotected files, uploading unprotected files will not be allowed. You will get stopped if you try to upload protected PDF files. So please make sure when uploading your drawings or any documents in our system that those files are unprotected. Very, very important. And with that, I'll pause and turn it over to Yuri before we turn it over to our SagesGov partners.
Thank you, Adam. This brings us to our questions and answers section. And as a reminder, if you would like to speak and ask a question, please click on the raise hand icon and I will unmute your microphone at the appropriate time. If you prefer to type your question, please do so within the questions section of the GoToWebinar interface. Thank you.
And thank you, Yuri. And as I mentioned previously, SagesGov, well, I'm going to be passing the baton over to them. But before I do so, I definitely want to recognize the efforts of SagesGov. They've been a tremendous partner for us over the past 6 or 7 months, and we definitely wouldn't have been able to move forward with our implementation as quickly as we did without their partnership. And we greatly appreciate all the hard work of our Sages team. And with that, I'll go ahead and turn it over to Michelle Palacios, who will take us from here. Thank you.
Hi, everyone. So my name is Michelle Palacios. I'm with SagesGov, and with me is Harish Krishna. So we will go over how to use the SagesGov platform as contractors and external users. So to begin, okay, so I will start off by saying that our preferred browser is Google Chrome. So when you do log in and use our software, that is preferred. We do provide access through the other providers as well, but you will have a better experience using Google Chrome. So to start off, we will go through access registration and login. Then we will talk about the navigation overview. We will then submit a project, show you how we have GIS validation, the application form, and uploading files. Then we will show you how to track a project. So using what we learned in the navigation overview, we'll go in and actually find a project and go through search and then go through the history and open up a project and see how to navigate within a project itself. After that, we'll go through electronic plan review, then how it's processed, the permit is processed in Naviline, and then payment of fees, and then the permit is issued, and then back to Sages to where how the project is completed and how you can view, and then down below where you can download the approved package and the drawings and issued permit. So that's the agenda for today. Okay, so initially you guys will be able to access the SagesGov platform through the Boynton Beach site. It's not currently active since we're not live yet, but it will be. And to get there, you can go to boyntonbeach.org. You can go to the services section and then the building division. And so within this section, you'll see a link to get to SagesGov. Once you're here, to make sure you're in the right place, you're going to see the Boynton Beach logo off to the side, Sages Network over here, and then some Boynton Beach announcements that'll help make sure you didn't end up somewhere else. Most of you guys are new to the system, so you're going to need to create a new account. So to do that, you will click on this link right here. Clicking from there, you have two options. You can create an account as a company or firm or as an individual. We'll go through each. So to begin with, we'll select company and firm. When you select that option, you will need to create the company details and then your administrator details. So up here at the top, you'll say your company, and then this is a company that I have made up for the purposes of this presentation. So you have to fill out all the information with the stars next to it. And then down below, you need an administrator to begin with. So over here, and then confirm not a robot, and you can go ahead and submit. If you are submitting an application and it does find a similar company, it will show it down here. You'll see some details below this, but here's the overall summary of the other company, and you can see if you're already there. If you are, then you can just log in as that user. If not, you can just go ahead and submit your new company. And make sure you have a confirmation message once you're done. So it'll be over here in the top right-hand corner, and it should be green. And so then you're taken back to this login page as soon as you hit it. So all these screenshots so far have been like step-by-step. If you click the button, this is the next screen you should see. So you will have a confirmation button, and this time around you can enter in your email here. but we're going to go back through. Let's say you were an individual. So you, again, create new account, but this time you select the individual option. The overall information that you have to fill out is very similar. You just don't have to describe the company you're working for. It's just for yourself. And so you set your own password here and submit. So then again, even as an individual, you should receive a confirmation over here to the side. So going forward, you will need to enter in your email in that slot, and then you can select next. And you can also select remember me if that's your computer and you're going to keep using it. But for initial logins purposes, enter your email, next, and then you'll be prompted for your password. At this point, you could still create a new account if you realized that you still needed to do that. And there's also an additional option right here, forgot your password. So if you did create your email and you forgot it, you're prompted to answer some questions, and so then it sends you an email to the email that you have created with Sages, and then you can reset it from there. So if you have issues with that, that's one way to approach that. So from here, you have your email, you enter in your password, you can go ahead and log in. When it's your first time logging in, you're going to have to read and accept the terms and conditions to continue. If you're a company, you have 2 sets of terms and conditions that you have to approve, and if you're an individual, you just have 1. But you have all these terms. If you scroll to the bottom, you can select the I have read and accept, and then go ahead and submit. You will see this red icon just to alert you that you have to do something on this page and you can't move forward until you've read and accepted. This is the second option you can have. So this is saying that you accepted the first set of terms and conditions. Now you have the second one to go if you're a company. Once again, you need to check the checkbox, submit, and then you will receive the confirmation. So once you've accepted the terms and conditions, you're on the home screen. You don't have to do those terms and conditions again. And here's the landing page where you're going to show up. You'll see the announcements over here off to the side. This general area will have your name, like welcome back, and whoever you're logged in as. And these are the tiles or processes that you will be using. We will come back to these momentarily, and then also when we go to submit a project. So the next option up here in the top menu is work list. So homepage is the first page you land on, and then you can go over to work list to help you find some projects. We'll go through this more in depth momentarily. Your next option up in the top is admin. So I will go further into this right now because admin is like as soon as you create your user account, you can go ahead and manage your own account for yourself. And so logging into the admin screen, the view can be slightly different. So right now I'm logged in as a company admin, so I have some more options. So if I go to this next screen, so if you're a company administrator, you have my profile, company profile, users, and access requests. Individual, you just have the 2 options, my profile and access requests. So the my profile section, which is under admin, here you can edit your email, edit your phone number, edit your password. You can take care of that for yourself from here for both sides. For the company administrator, the company profile option, you can do that for your company name. So you can update your company name if you need to, and company details. So the next option is users, and this is again just for the company administrator, and that's where you can create your own users for your company, monitor them, and manage them. And access requests, we don't really need those here with Boynton Beach, since you guys are the access requests. You don't have to wait for the staff to accept you. That's a nice feature that we had set up for this. So you'll mainly just go to my profile, and if you're a company admin, these 3 other options. So going into users within a company admin, you will see all the users you have. So initially you will be the only one as the company admin, but you can add a user by selecting the add button here at the top. Show inactive as well. If you have some inactive and active users, you can toggle between them here, and you can reset a password for any user. So if you were to select add user, you'd have this new screen and you fill in the user's information. So you don't have to have them log in or create their own account like we showed in the first page if you have a company account. So you create the company account and then you add your own users within your login. So you can create more company administrators. Any of these roles can be applied. We do recommend having at least 2 company administrators just in case one loses access and you still need new users added and changes to be made. That way you guys aren't locked out of your account for any length of time. And so then if you go ahead and populate these fields, you can just select save, and then you have a brand new user associated with your company. So then going back to the users within your company profile, you'll see the extra user that you just added. If for any reason you need to edit that user, you can select the hyperlink, which is their name. And then you will see their information here, and you can update it, make them inactive, and change any information that you need. So the next option from this navigation menu is the search option. So the difference between worklist and search is that search is more specific. You're looking for something like you have a project case number and you can find it, or you can like try to narrow down some filters and end up with an Excel version of a sheet. But worklist is more preset filters. Depending on what filters you have, options will automatically be showing up under worklist, and search you need to populate some information to get something out of it. So we'll come back to worklist and search momentarily. So now we'll go into submitting a project. I'm going to bring this other page over. I'm going to log into here. Let me grab my password. And so this is how you guys can log in moving forward as well. Okay, so now I'm on the main page and I'll let Harish speak to what's going on here.
Sure. Thanks, Michelle. Good morning, everybody. This is Harish Krishna from Atlanta, Georgia with Sages Networks. I'm the project manager on this project, and just a quick note to the Boynton Beach team. You guys have been terrific for the past 6-7 months. We're so happy to be here with you together at this milestone. Our goal today is to just cover some of the aspects of the submission. I'll quickly talk about the overview of the home page itself, just this very specific page that you're seeing. This is where you begin your new submissions. Anytime you come in, you have a brand new project, you want to click those tiles. So what is a tile? A tile has everything that the city needs from an application submission standpoint. This includes, like Michelle pointed out, the GIS information, the application forms, the drawing files, your affidavits. Bring it all in at one time using those tiles. So what we have in this phase of the project for the city of Boynton Beach are 3 tiles: commercial permit application, residential, and revision. This allows you to start a submission process, like I said. So when you go into a residential permit application tile, this begins the process for either a primary permit or a sub permit. You can do either a primary permit or a sub permit using the residential permit tile. The question is really simple. It's right up front there. Please select if you're applying for a primary permit, or choose the other option if you're applying for a sub permit. It's really important to know that we are supporting projects that have been submitted in Naviline as well. Let's say you have a project, a general contractor came in and submitted a project earlier, and you're trying to do a sub permit on it. Bring that into Sages. You can click the sub permit, and there's an option for you to submit those. If you have a primary permit that has been submitted in Sages, of course, you will be able to do a sub permit on it. So we just wanted to introduce this to you. Now I'm going to pitch it back to Michelle for continuing with the submission process here. Michelle?
Thanks, Harish. Okay, so back onto this page again. So I'm going to submit an application from start. And so I will start with a commercial permit. So just selecting this tile brings you in. And then like Harish mentioned, you have the primary or the sub-permit option. I'm going to go through the primary permit option, so let me continue there. Okay, so once you've made your choice there, you're taken to a prerequisite checklist. So here it's asking you to make sure that you have the following with you, these 3 items here. And so it's up to you to be reading these options and going through them and filling them out like as fast as you can. I'm just going through and I'm going to say yes for the purposes of this presentation, and I will save and continue. Oh, 1 second, my page just changed.
Michelle,
Yes?
we have a question in the question section. If you're willing to take it now.
I don't see it.
Oh, the question is, I can read it out. It's, will we need to resubmit already submitted permit applications?
You don't have to submit already submitted permit applications in Navline. It's going to be processed in Navline the way it is being done today. So when the cutover happens, you will be submitting new permit applications in Sages.
Okay, so I will continue from here then. So I've completed the prerequisite checklist and now I'm on location. So here's where we've integrated with the GIS system and we're going to be getting validation for the address that we enter. So for now, I'm going to enter 100 Ocean and search. And so these results that come back are from GIS, and so they've been validated, and some of these options you can tell that shouldn't be used. This one right here is the one I'm looking for, and you can confirm to get that result back. And so the key here is to make sure that you get a parcel number back. If the address isn't valid or there's something wrong with any part of this, you may get an error and you'll see a red icon over here off to the right hand side. And so for this one, we didn't receive an error, the address came through clean, and we have a parcel number, so we can go ahead and continue. Of course, we do have these 2 other options, location details and supplemental address. Feel free to use those as you need them. I will continue without those 2. So save and continue. So far throughout your application process, you can see a trail of where you were and where you're going to. So as you complete a part, it turns green, and then the part that you're on is blue and upcoming parts are gray. So I'm over here on the application form and I can go ahead and find an option here. So it's a scroll bar, so be sure to go through it all to find what you're looking for. And I will select the generator option for this. We do have a little icon to pre-fill some information for you. So if you select this icon, it fills in the logged in user's information, or you can go ahead and manually type information here. I will use my information, logged in user, here to have that populate for me. Going through, I'm just trying to get this part submitted. I'm not a contractor, so I don't 100% know how to fill out this whole application, so please bear with me. For project name, I will say adding, let me say condo generator. Legal description, we do have a hyperlink here that you can follow to get that information. For this, I will just put in a different result so you guys can tell this is completely different. I will just say testing here. Further work description, I will say adding a new generator to the condo complex. Okay, so going through, we can see all these little asterisks that are required fields, so I'm just making sure I get all those done. Value, I'm going to say 10,000. And you can go ahead and select blue hyperlinks throughout this application to take you to another page to get more information. This one right here will take you to a fee schedule. We do have a click to gov integration here, so you can start searching some company names. I have something else coming up here for now. So let me go to owner builder. I don't have an actual company name to enter here, so I'm not going to find anything. So let me go to owner builder. And then down here, there's 7 and 8. We need to sign and say that we've read everything and we are logging in. So let me just do PBFL. I'll go with Cindy. We'll do a date here. Okay, so now I've gone through the entire page and I've filled out everything that's required. I can show you if I didn't fill something out, let me remove the value here. It is going to stop me from moving forward because there's something missing and now it's redirecting me to the required field. So let me populate that again. And now I will be able to go forward. Save and continue. Okay, so now we're done with the application form and we're at upload files. So from upload files, the system is smart enough to know that based on what you filled out on the application, what's required. So based on my selections, all of these fields need to be, all of these application types, or sorry, file types need to be added to the system. If for any reason you need to download an AC changeout form, any of these options up here, here's a hyperlink to take you to the city's website where you can find those. There are additional optional files that you can add. They're down here under view. You can see all these other options that you have, but the only required ones are these with the red asterisks. So I'm going to select files to upload. And I have some small files chosen here for the purposes of this demonstration. And right now it's doing a virus scan on the files to make sure that everything's good into the system. So we need to wait for these green check marks over here on this left-hand side. In the meantime, though, we can go ahead and select the file type that they are. So these are the file type names. So electric drawings, I can go ahead and find that option here. The next one, I'll say fire alarms and so on. And you, of course, would actually match up the PDF with the actual file type. Mine are more generic documentations. And I need some more files. Let me get these. That's loading. And if you did add something by mistake, you can go ahead and delete it over here on the right-hand side. And you can add some additional comments here as well. Just have a few more here to add, site plan. Okay, so I'll add about 3, 4 more. So again, so we're at upload files right now. We have one more step after this, and then it will go off to the city. Survey. Okay, so see down here, I had an extra one. I can choose any of the optional files down here. I'm just going to delete it since I did not need that file. That will go away. Okay, so now that has gone away, I have quite a few files on this, and I can go ahead and save and continue on to the next page. So confirm and submit, you have a summary of everything you've done up to here. You can open up any of these arrows and then you'll have the information. So the location I chose was 100 Ocean, and here's the parcel. You can look back at the application form again. You can't edit anything from this screen, so you will need to select the back button if you need to go back over here and change anything like the address, application form, files, anything like that. This is just a quick summary for you to see. So I will submit from here. Normally, yes, I would submit from here. I am in the production system, so I'm going to stop where I'm at and just select cancel. But this is how you would get a project into the system. Once you hit submit, it's just gives you confirmation that it's in the system. So I will cancel for now. And as you can see, if you really did cancel a project as you were going through, now I have one unsubmitted project here, and you can always view it and continue it. It'll have you go through all the pages, but it did remember all the information that you entered. So you can go to the final page and submit. So that last step brings the project to the actual system. And so let me go back to the presentation and we will go through how to find that project. Okay, so finding a project using work list and search. So let's say I just submitted my project. So now I want to find it. I need to track it one way or another. So one way is through that work list item on the navigation menu. And you can see that you have different drop downs here. You have a view option, project case status, and process. So you can use these options and you have these drop downs. So if you're looking for a specific review, you can search by that, but mainly as contractors, you'll want to keep the project filter here. But then let's say you want to look for a specific status, such as completed. You know, you wanted to look at a project that you completed last month, for example. And so then you can change your option to completed, and then that record will appear in this section right here. Active projects, as long as it's not abandoned, that will include just about any status here. So you can mess with the different project statuses to sort your projects. When you log in, it will reset to active projects, so keep that in mind. If you don't see any records here, just change your filters. Processes, I just submitted a commercial permit application. So if I wanted to look for just that, I can select the commercial permit option. The other two are here as well, though. You can select any, so it searches within all of them, or you can be as specific as you would like. So in that scenario, I did go ahead and go to work list, and then I searched for active projects again, and this time I did come up with a project. So this is a commercial permit application, and it's currently waiting for intake. To get to the project from this screen, you can select this blue hyperlink over here under project and case, and all the other columns to the right hand side just give you some quick summary so you can decide if that's the project you're looking for or not. So another way to navigate to the projects that you or someone in your company has submitted is by going to search. So when you select the search option, like I mentioned before, you can populate almost any of these fields to narrow down what you need. So for example, you can go into here and say, I want commercial, residential, and revisions, and I just want the ones waiting for intake. So this is another way to come across. I use the address 100 Ocean. You're welcome to use the address as well, just 100 here. Street number is separate from the street name, so the street name would be down here, Ocean. And then search, but I kept it more generic here. So after you select search, you will have this format of a layout. So that's the difference between work list and search. Work list, you don't always have to mess with your filters, but you can, and search, you will always need to populate some filters to narrow down what you're looking for. So from here, you can again select the project by clicking the blue hyperlink that is the name. So let's say we did that, and we are going to the project overview now. So the project overview is when you open up the project, it gives a summary of where it's at, where it's going, and you can navigate to any part of the project once you're here. So opening this up, there's different parts of the project. And so the main thing you notice is the project header, which is up here at the top. You can make it smaller or bigger to view more or less of the information. Going through here, your project and case number, that'll be important, and you can search by this as well. So if you copy and paste it somewhere, you can always find your project this way. Process type, I chose a commercial permit, so that's why it says commercial over here. Status is currently waiting for intake. So the city of Boynton Beach hasn't done anything with the project yet. This is the address I selected along with the parcel number down here. Review cycles, this increases each time you need to resubmit. So if you need to resubmit a project, which Harish will get into later on, you need to find the project, and then you'll have that option from within the project itself. So that will make the review cycle number go up. Project case name, that's what I filled out in the application. Project case coordinator, that's who I can get a hold of if I have some questions here. And I chose application type, this is the option that I chose, and so you can see it here at the top, and it's also part of the project case name. You can download a copy of your application if you need to, and this will be a PDF copy over here. You can also view your application from the Actions menu. So the Actions menu stays relatively the same as you change through the different pages. These are very common actions from page to page, so this will be fairly similar each time. This content area does change depending on which section you're on. So right now it's a brand new project, we're waiting for intake. There's nothing for us to really view, so we can just see history-wise, we submitted the project and there's been a coordinator assigned. This flyout menu over here will also help you navigate through the project. You'll have several different options. So this first one with the eye is the overview. This is how you see this page down here. Then you have location, files, history, and explorer. So we'll go through each of these tabs and how you can see what's there and navigate from each to each. So the overview page, the flyout menu expands and then you can read the labels that's next to them. And so it's a darker tint of blue to tell you which one you're on. And so going on to the next page, once it's closed, it's more of a green color, so you can tell the difference better. So this next option, which is the location, lets you view the address that you entered on a GIS map. So that's what's down here. And then there's some different layers that you can add or remove. So let me get a better image of that here. So you can go ahead and zoom in and zoom out. It's very interactive and mess with these different layers. And that's what you can do under the location section. Going down to the next option is the project files page. Under files, you can view all the project application files, everything you've submitted and everything that's submitted back to you. So for example, when you first initially submit your project, you'll see this project section where you can see your application. Cycle 1, here's everything you've uploaded so far, but this page changes as the files are worked on. So this project right here, you could see has had a second review cycle, and so you can download a review cycle report. From here, you can go ahead and view all the different markups and comments that the staff has left for you. You can also select an individual file and select the marked up section here to just view what's been done to this specific file. And then of course you still have the original. You can select that if you want to view that as well. You can toggle between the different cycles here. And further down, if you scroll down, you can also see the actual document markups and comments. It's a bit of a summary of what you will find within the document itself. So if I were to open up this marked up document, I will see that there's a marking that says something is not to scale. So going down to the next option is the project history page. So here, this will be very helpful to you to know where your project is at and where it has been. So in this summary, it's just been submitted and a coordinator was assigned, and you can see who performed it. So the system automatically does some actions, some users do some other actions, and then of course there's a timestamp for it as well. There's also these 3 possible icons over here to the right. This blue paper icon is for some extra information. So if there's a checklist, you could see some results in there. If someone was assigned, you can see who it was assigned to. This stack of documents lets you see files associated with that action. So you submitted your application. In here, you could see your application. You could see all the files that you attached. Further down the road, you could see the review cycle report through here as well. So when it says the review cycle was completed, you'll over here to the side, you'll be able to select on the report. And then the third option is the email. So let me proceed to the next page. So if you select the email, you can see the exact email that went out. You can see who it went to, what the subject was, and you can see all the content. You don't have to check your email every single time. You can check most of it here. It is going to to the email provided up here though. But if you're not sure, you can always go to the history page and look for any email icons over here to the side. There can also be multiple emails for one action. And so then you'd have room to scroll up and down to read each email from here. Going down the list, the next option is the Explorer page. From here, it's fairly blank when you initially submit your application. This project right here is waiting for intake, so you're not going to get a lot of out of the Explorer page. You can see the graphical tab, the summary, and the files, but there's not going to be a lot there. This summarizes the whole project in this little window. So going to this next page, this project is actually in progress. So this is still the Explorer page. It's on a different project though that's further along. So under graphical, you can go ahead and see the completed tasks, which are in green, see everything that still needs to be done, which are the blue options. You can go to the summary page, which is the same information, just laid out more Excel sheet style. Files, you can see all the different files that you would see in this section as well, up in this file tab. So there's also another feature for the Explorer page, and that's that you can see projects that are connected to each other. For example, this initial project is a primary permit, and this one down here is a sub permit. So you can go ahead and see that they're connected and toggle between the two. It's seen where they're at. So here's the graphical summary. This light gray is not applicable or canceled. You don't need that review done. Again, this is just an example here. Summary will have, again, the Excel layout, just more tabular, and you'll be able to see the files. And so switching between these two projects, it makes it easier to see where the projects are at without having to have too many tabs open and toggling between the two. So in some cases, you could have one primary and then 10 different sub permits. So this lets you see it all on one page while you could still stay on your main permit or main project. So another thing that can come up is that staff can request for you to upload a file. And so if that did occur, when you log in and open your project, you will see this orange label, and it's saying that files have been requested for this project. Click here to upload. So you opened up your project and you can click there, or even before you open it up, you will see this red icon, and it means you need to upload some documents. And so that's you could quickly see what's needed for a project. If you see that icon, you know you need to do something for it. So once you've selected the click here within the project or on this actions menu bar, you see files request. You can click there as well. You'll see that you need to upload requested files. So here it says pending upload. It's an electric drawing. And so I can go ahead and choose my file and upload. So when I choose an upload, it does the virus scan again. So I need to make sure I have a green check mark. If I uploaded the wrong file by mistake, I can delete and do it again. And then I can go ahead and select submit. And so then this will go back to the city and they can approve or deny it, maybe request some more files. After you've submitted your project, you cannot add more files to it. So if you need to add some more files, you may need to get a hold of city staff and let them know that you would like to add some files, and you can work with them so that they submit the file request and then you can complete the request. Okay, so from here, I need to pass this off to Harish, and so he can get into electronic plan review.
Yeah, great. Thanks, Michelle, once again for that presentation. Yuri, may I get control, please?
You have it now, Harish.
Okay.
So go ahead, just select the screen from the show screen item, and you will switch into the presentation you're seeing.
Sorry. Just give me 1 second, folks. While we are getting my screen ready for share, if there's any questions, please feel free to type it in, or you can ask right away.
So we do have questions, just so the group knows, and if we want to take this moment to answer some of them, I can either read them out, or if the panelists will look on their toolbar and has their microphone and camera, there's like a word bubble that pops up. They click that, they can see it, and they can type out responses in there. What is the preference of the group? Adam, as the chair of this meeting, what would you like me to do?
Can you all see my screen now?
Yes, Harish, we can see the screen.
Okay, great. All right, I'm going to quickly walk you through some of the things that's going on behind the scene at the city now that the project has been submitted. The project itself has gone through all the steps that Michelle showed us. She showed us how you can upload your drawings, complete your application forms, go through all your affidavits. Let's bring all those drawings electronically and submit it. And once we've gone past all the submissions, we're going to skip the intake process because obviously that's done by the city. At this point, we're going to pick it up once it's past intake and it's out for electronic plan review. We just wanted to give you folks a feel of how the system looks for the staff. The city staff gets an email on their side saying the new project has been submitted and it's ready for review. And once it's out for review, they're going to do their markups just like they've been doing before in Bluebeam review. So you can see how, I'm sorry, I'm having some issues here with my monitors. I'll just stay in this mode. You can see how I've got a Bluebeam review window open here. So the engineers at the city and the plan reviewers have clicked through Sages and opened up Bluebeam review. And at the same time, they are marking up these drawings. What's the difference between what's going on today and what's going to happen with Sages? Well, the difference is it's a collaborative review with all reviewers working on the drawings at the same time. And all those comments are being pulled and stored inside the Sages application. So we'll see how that works when you actually get a disapproval from the city and how you do your resubmission. But essentially, you don't have to worry about those comments. Where do I go look for it? Who's marking it up? And so on and so forth. We are actually capturing all those comments from the Bluebeam review PDF software and storing it in the SagesGov cloud application. So this is just for your information. At this point, the ball is still on the city side. It's going through all the review. And let's say the review has reached a point where one of the reviewers has disapproved it. Okay, the fire marshal says, I'm having some problems with your drawings. I'm going to go ahead and disapprove it. And now we're picking it up on the disapproval flow because that involves our builders, contractors, architects, and citizens who are going to have to resubmit this project. So once the city has disapproved the plan review, the ball's back in your court. And how you find your projects, once again, is you're familiar with the work list by now. There's one way to do it. You log in, go straight to your work list. And we also have an orange banner that shows right up front as soon as you log in, saying you have one or more projects that are waiting for your action. You click that here hyperlink, that'll take you through the submission process. This is really important because when you're revising drawings or you're resubmitting drawings, you don't want to be clicking these tiles. In the introduction, if you remember, we said these tiles are for new projects. So what does the revisions do for me? The revisions are for already permitted projects. You go through the system, you get a permit, you start construction, and then you need to revise it for whatever reason. That's when you use the revision. So please do not use the revisions just to resubmit a project. So use either the work list or this link, your choice. That should bring you down to, if you're using the work list, it should bring you here, showing you the list of all the projects that you've done. In this case, I want to click this link. Also pay attention to the status of your project. Many times when you call in to the city, you're trying to find out where your project is. You really don't need to do that anymore because you log into the Sages portal. We are pushing all that good information to you. We're telling you you have two projects that are going on. One is waiting for intake and the city has requested some documents, so you need to upload that. The other project has gone past intake. In fact, it's gone through plan review and it has been disapproved. So you see how the status column helps you right away. When you click that link to the project case, we'll take you back onto our project details page that Michelle covered a lot in detail, so I'm not going to go through this, but the important action for you is the resubmit project case that shows up. The system is smart enough to figure out that, hey, you know what, the city has disapproved the review cycle. I'm going to let the customer resubmit it. So that's the only action that you can do at this point. And notice that my fire marshal icon has turned red. So we try to make this as visual as possible. The greens indicate that they're good, they've been approved. But since the fire marshal disapproved it, you're going to have to resubmit that project. So when you start your resubmission, once again, just like we had that new submission flow, our resubmission flow has got a very simple 1, 2, 3, 4 and done. I've taken this past steps 1 and 2. I didn't have any changes on the application form, but wanted to focus on this file revision step. This is where you are responding to the city and uploading a new file. So what are my options here? I can do one of the 3 things. I can either say, hey, there are no changes to this. No, I'm not going to change this file, or I'm going to revise it, or I'm going to delete it. Please note, delete does not mean we're actually physically removing the file. We're just referencing, saying that, hey, this file has been deleted and no longer needs to be reviewed. We don't delete files in SagesGov. Even from a record keeping standpoint, those files are always stored. But from a project standpoint, the city will not see that file anymore. So 3 options: no changes, revise a file, and delete. Let's see how the revise a file option works. Obviously, with no changes, you're just leaving that original file that came in. When you click on revise, we open up a option for you to browse and upload your revised drawing file. Here on my Chrome browser, it shows me the choose file button and an upload button. So you want to click that choose file, and again, on the way in, like we showed you the new project, it behaves the same way. We've got a virus scanning software that makes sure that it's not a malicious file. We check for a few other things on the file itself. And once you get that green check mark, you want to click next and bring that revision in. So once the project has been resubmitted successfully, I want to call your attention to the header bar again and talk about a few important things that will help you check the status of a project. You want to pay attention to the review cycle number. It's a little small there, but that says 2. So this is review cycle 2, which tells me that the drawings have gone through 1 revision and they've come back for the 2nd review cycle. And the status is in progress. Now, as a builder, contractor, or architect, for me, I'm done at this point, because if I see an in progress, that means the ball's back in the city's court. And notice my icons again have turned dark blue, which tells me our city reviewers are going to start looking at it because they are receiving notifications and other things on their side. We'll pause for questions and definitely talk about this if you want to. I'll just finish a few more slides I have here. Review cycle 2 has started. The city has picked it up, and this time they've green lighted their plan review. They said it all looks good. Notice my icons turned green again, and the status has changed to review cycle approved. This is a positive flow for the project. So to recap, we went through a disapproval, we did a resubmission, the project came back in, and the city was satisfied with the drawings from the 2nd review cycle, and they've approved the plan review. And we're sort of going towards the tail end of the process. And I know Adam referred to this at the start of this webinar, where he said in this phase of the project, the permit issuance is still going to continue in Naviline. We are hoping to bring all that into Sages very soon. But I must call your attention to this slide, which is where are my permits being processed and how does that impact me? This is all behind the scenes for you folks. You're not going to worry about how the permits are being processed and so on and so forth. We just have one slide here to let you know that at this point, staff is going to issue that permit in Naviline. The fees are all transacted there, and they're going to bring in the issued permit card into Sages. So in other words, just to back up, once plan review has been successfully completed, you'll get a notification that the project has been reviewed, but the permit is going to be issued next, the fees are due, and once the fees are paid, all those instructions are in the email. Once the fees are paid by you, we're going to drop into project completion. So I know I said a lot of things there in terms of the plan review and project completion, but this is really important. I want to focus a few minutes on the completion of the project and how you access your zip file and so on and so forth. So this is again happening behind the scenes for you folks. Boynton Beach staff is going to go in and complete the project. They issued the permit in Naviline, downloaded the permit card, brought it into Sages, and they do what is known as a complete action for you. How does that impact me as an external user? When I log in, after I get that email, I'm going to see this on my project details page. Now my little alert has turned green saying project case has been completed. Click here for the approved package. This is an important milestone for you folks because you can now download this entire zip file that contains your approved drawings, your permit card, and everything, and begin your construction activity at this point. So what we have also is a quick screenshot of how that email is going to look. This doesn't cover the entire length of the email, but it's got all the details that I just talked about. When the project has been completed, it's going to give you instructions on how you can download it. So if you're looking at this email on your smartphone, you know that you need to log into Sages and download your zip file. We also have an option for you to go in here and choose from the files menu, where you can download that zip file there. Once the zip file has been downloaded to your computer, we have a very easy way for you to access your drawings. You unzip that file. Here's a screenshot that shows you that zip file that we downloaded. And you unzip it, you have these different folders. So the folder that you're going to pay attention to is the permit card folder and these different drawing files. So you have your drawing files, you have your permit card, you can print them. I believe you're printing them and leaving them on site for the city to do their inspections and so on. But from there on out, you don't have to worry about, the comments, the markups, the stamps. It's all going to be burnt in by Sages into those PDFs for you. So it's 11:30. I just wanted to open this up for Q&A. Covered a lot of topics, but if there's anything specific you want to get into, please let us know. We'll be glad to show you.
Harish? If you want to see the questions, I'm going to promote you to organizer, and you can, if you click this question section that appears under chat, you will see all the ones that have been posted.
Okay.
Even that way.
Yeah,
or
sure.
I can read them off to the group. Here you go, Harish. I've made you organizer. Do you see the question section now?
Yep.
Okay. So if you go, the one, we can start with the one that is the third one down, because the second one was answered by you and Michelle. And then the third one down is where kind of the presentation ran, and we asked to hold it to the end of it, starting with that one.
Okay, we'll take a look at that, Yuri. So the question is, I'm going to read the question. Previously, Boynton required all subcontractor applications to be submitted at the time of the primary application. Is that still a requirement, or can subcontractors submit after the primary contractor? I think this is both a process question and a software question. I'll take it first from the software side and let you know that subcontractors can submit at a later time. And as long as you have an account, you come in. you don't need to bring in all that subcontractor information when you're doing your primary permit. The software allows you to submit a sub-permit at a later point in time. However, from a process standpoint, I want to make sure Deborah or Patsy or someone can confirm that it's okay for a subcontractor to come in later and submit.
Deb, do you want to answer that? Do you want to elaborate on what Harish is talking about?
Thank you. Okay, so a subcontractor can still come in at original permit submittal or after the permit has already been submitted. In Sages, Harish or Michelle, are you able to bring up the screen where we have the radio buttons? Is this a prime application or a sub application?
Yeah, I can share my screen.
Okay, so if you have already applied and received your project and permit number, you would not select primary permit. You would select sub permit. This way you could upload and complete your mechanical, electric, plumbing, subcontractor information. So I hope that answers that question.
Okay. Yeah, let us know if that answers the question, please, in the chat, and then we'll keep moving down this list here. The next question is, will the contractor license and insurance information on file with the city of Boynton Beach currently need to be uploaded? I'm going to pass that on to the city again. It sounds like a process question.
It is, yes. For every submittal, those 3 documents will be required for every new submittal.
Okay. We hope that answered your question there. Yuri, were there any other questions here in this list? Let me scroll down. Okay. Next question, will the contractor licensing? Okay, that's the same thing, I guess. I'm sorry. My apologies. So are there any other questions from anybody?
Yeah, if you scroll down, Harish, there's that one appears twice, and then and I think you've covered this, but the next one after that is Brittany Patterson asks, I have a permit that has been approved in the legacy system. I'm doing a change of contractor. Would that paperwork still be handled in the legacy system? And I think you covered some of this, but if you want to go over it just one more time.
I'm going to go ahead and take this one. Yes, in the legacy system, the same way you would upload that you're currently uploading corrections, revisions, the document uploads. In our legacy system, you would continue to upload that change of contractor. Everything that you do would be in that legacy system until that project is completely final.
Okay. And then we have a follow-up question to that. We have a question from Angie Greason saying, must we upload a file for every mandatory file listed? If there is an error on the list, would we contact permitting staff?
Okay. Well, I just want to know, we are working on the required documents at this time and hope to have it updated for our go live tomorrow. If you were to run into this issue, what we recommend right now, if you have a mandatory file that does not apply to your scope of work, maybe adding a PDF with a note in there of why that doesn't apply. Maybe electric work is not being completed. Something to advise us that file is not required for your scope of work.
Okay, and then after that we have, can you submit as a dry run if you have no contract?
what, I think what they mean is if the contractor is to be assigned.
Possibly. I mean, we can
Yeah, maybe if Lily
clarify.
could follow up on that question, if that's what she means. If it is to be assigned, that is a contractor that you can enter.
So
And then, of course,
by Lily, and I can unmute Lily and have her clarify if you'd like.
sure.
Okay. Lily, you are now self-muted. If you'd go ahead and unmute your mic. Lily, are you there? Just hit the mic button, the red microphone button on your toolbar, and you will unmute yourself. All right. So yeah, I mean, I suppose if the question was, can you
She
submit as a
responded.
practice run?
Oh, she responded and said, I don't have a mic. Yes, that's what I mean, to be determined.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So Deborah, does that change your
Yes,
answer?
so if it is to be determined, you can select that contractor as you're applying. In the company name, you would type to be determined, or it might be to be assigned. And you'd be able to select that name as the contractor. And of course, we would not issue that permit until we received, you would upload it as a subcontractor, the completed application for the assigned contractor. But the original submittal can be done as to be assigned.
All right, with that, I'll move on to the next one. Will we still be required to upload signed and notarized application forms now that the application is being submitted online?
We are not requiring the signed, completed paper application. And MJ, I'll let you answer the notarized. There's a statement on the application online that is the digital equivalent of a notarized application.
Yeah, like Deborah said, when you fill out the signature section, is in building application form.
MJ, you kind of broke up there a little bit. Can you repeat that last part?
I think what he was saying was the application has a statement at the bottom where you type your signature that is stating that by typing your name there, you are notarizing that it's equivalent to a notary.
Correct.
Okay.
So the next question is again about the contractor license, and I think we answered that one, yes. Those 3 documents have to be uploaded for every submittal.
Understood. The next one we have is, does the file have to be named the same way to version when it comes to submitting corrections?
I can take that, Deborah. From a system standpoint, we really don't care about the file naming as such to identify versions. We go by what is known as file types. You saw how in the dropdown you can select different file types. So the name itself has no significance or bearing on the fact that it's a new file or a revised file.
Okay, and then next one following that is, it looked like the name was just typed into the section where a homeowner or contractor would normally sign. Does that mean we will not need to get a permit signed and notarized any longer? If you touched on this.
I can take this one. It doesn't mean that the permit's not signed and notarized any longer. By signing that section online, it's in compliance with Florida's requirements for online building permit applications. And there is a statement there that it
Michael, we seem to have lost your signal there for a moment. Michael, do you want to go through that, just that last part after you said it's compliant with Florida requirements, and then right after that?
Can you hear me clearly?
No.
Hey, Michael, this is John McNally. Maybe I can suggest that you step into the same office as Deborah and maybe answer these as a team. Her microphone seems to be working really well. Just a suggestion. Maybe for now, Yuri, move on to the next one and we can come back to that one.
Sure.
Okay, I have Michael here now.
Okay. Okay.
Okay, so what I was saying is it's not that the application's not signed anymore. By typing your name in that signature line, it's in compliance with Florida statute of signing it online.
Okay. That will go to the next question. If the address doesn't show up online, can you manually type in the address?
I'm sorry, Yuri, can you repeat that?
This question is, if the address doesn't show up online, can you manually type in the address? I think that's more of a software question.
It is. So if they manually type in the address and it does not show up, that it's not going to let you go any further.
That is correct, Deborah. We need that integration with GIS to work, so that we may pull that location ID down. At this stage, the way it's configured is you need an address or a parcel. You can come in on a parcel only, but even that, the city would have to send it back because once again, it's an integrated solution with Naviline, and without that location ID, which we get from the address, we really cannot take it past intake. And if it doesn't go past intake, the project is just sitting there. So we do need an address at this point to work before you can continue.
Okay. Will we be able to submit fire alarm plans online?
Absolutely. If it's coming in as part of one of the required files, it's going to show up in the list we talked about as being mandatory, or it's going to be as part of the optional list of files that the applicant can select on the way in or on a resubmission.
Okay. If you will be doing a fire alarm permit as the primary permit and monitoring of the fire alarm will be done separately with a cell unit or radio, do you need to pull a sub permit under the main primary permit or pull an independent monitoring permit separately?
Okay, so the process has not changed as far as if you have a main permit for the entire, let's say a build out, we still require fire alarms, fire sprinklers, any additional work to be applied for under that main permit. So this question as read, yes, a fire alarm would be under the main permit.
Do you need to fill out a hard copy permit application and upload that as one of the documents, or is just the online application sufficient?
Just the online application. No paper application needs to be uploaded at this time.
Okay. Another question on file naming and revisions. Do you need to rename the files when you submit for a revision, or keep the same file name?
You don't need to rename the files. You can keep the same file name. As we demonstrated to you, we have the concept of review cycles. Each review cycle has got its own folder. We maintain those folders and keep all the versions away from each other. So you can bring in the same file name for the revision as well.
Thank you, Harish. Do files need to be specifically named when uploaded, i.e. structural -1, drawings -1, etc.? And I think that applies to your answer now.
That is, yep.
Okay. Okay, next one. Other than the standard profile creation, how do I connect my company license to my new profile? Do I need to request that it gets added, or can I add it myself?
We don't have that link right now to attach a company license to the profile. That's why we are requiring every submittal, the contractor's license, business tax receipt, and workers' comp documents need to be submitted each time.
Okay. So the next question says, piggybacking on that insurance question, so with each permit, the insurance information as well as licenses will need to be submitted with each permit?
Yeah.
Okay. Put that there. Note that. Well, not me, it was Deborah that answered that. Once a permit card and docs have been stamped, do I still have to print out every page for the inspection, or just the permit card?
Permit card and plan still need to be on site.
So they would have to print out the card and the pages? Is that what you mean, Deborah?
Correct.
Okay. Okay, next question. Must we upload a file for every mandatory file listed? If there is an error on the list, would we contact permitting staff? I think you covered this.
Yes, we did.
Okay. If you have an existing permit already approved, almost ready for inspection, what do you do?
Okay, that's gonna inspection, making payments on permits is still in our legacy system. So you would continue to schedule inspections the way you currently do, either on the Boynton website or the automated system.
Okay. Next one is related to signatures. Are all signatures online now, or do you need to still have the uploaded notarized PE? And Michael, you answered that the online signature will be sufficient.
Correct.
Okay. And that no uploading of the notarized items with original signatures is needed. Is that correct?
That's correct.
Okay, there's a question, goes to notifications. Before your permit application is approved and you are notified, will you be receiving emails to let you know, for example, the documents are needed or other items, or do you have to check online every day to see if there is anything needed?
Okay, once the full plan review has completed, an email will be sent with a comment report. But you do have the ability to check it online as it goes through each discipline. But at the end of completed review, if not approved, you'll receive a corrections report. If it is approved, the permit and plans will be issued.
Okay, so the question then follows up on the notary question. If the customer isn't uploading, how does that work on notary?
The customer doesn't bring the permit applications into the building department now. I don't have the Florida statute in front of me right this second, but in the Florida statute, there's a list of requirements that have to be met when submitting building permit applications online, and those conditions as of this time have been met.
Okay.
Can we touch real quick on the question prior to that one? Can we submit fire permits electronically? We have had to submit them in person in the past. Can we unmute Nicole?
So it notes here she's not in the attendees anymore. I think this question already answered.
Yeah, I'm just wondering if that's for an outside municipality that fire handled that review. Those plans go directly to the fire department, not through us electronically.
That's a good point. Yeah, in the service area. This individual is no longer in the attendees list, though. But if you want to answer it for the group, you can. Which is, they would have to. Am I correct? You're saying they would have to still bring that in because that's in the service area outside of the city.
Correct.
Right. Which fire rescue is looking to solve that by bringing in a tile to allow them to submit electronically. Here's a question about multiple pages. Can they be uploaded in the same PDF, or is it a page per attachment?
Okay, we really want to stress that we want one PDF per attachment, per discipline. So you'll have your structural PDF is one, not individual pages. Electric, we should have one PDF, and so on. Mechanical, one PDF, plumbing, one PDF. It simplifies the plan review and will be easier for the customer when the permit's issued.
Okay. An individual has asked, I think it's a follow-up to a previous question that was answered. Does that still apply when applying as an agent for the property owner?
Yes.
Okay. Will a notice of commencement still need to be filed?
Yes,
Yes.
in accordance with Florida statute.
If the job value is over $2,500, $7,500 for ACK down.
Okay. This one is our permitting department is separate from our insurance department and therefore does not have access to our licenses and insurance certificates. How will be the best way, or what will be the best way to go about the two different departments to provide the required information?
The best way would be for the permitting department to get access to those files as they'll be required for submittal. Because we still need to verify that those licenses and insurances are active and valid.
Okay. Are you requiring digital engineer drawings?
Yes. So any digitally submitted project need to be digitally signed and sealed in accordance with Florida Administrative Code 61G15 23.004.
Okay, and the next question here asks, should applicants continue to get the building permit and NOC signed by customers, but are not required to scan it in?
No, they are required, the NOC, they still need to provide a copy. It
So they
still
should
needs to
scan
be
it
the
in.
recorded certified copy.
But does that, you're saying they should scan that in as part of the application?
If they have it at time of submittal, if the application is already being processed and reviewed, they could either email it to buildingm@bbfl.us.
Okay, I will note that here. There you go.
Or if they have
the next one is also may have been answered, but notes here, was a signed contract between property owner and, well, it's incomplete. Okay, I think you guys covered this one. Is it no longer required to provide a signed estimate invoice by customer and contract?
it's not required during submittal. It may be requested during plan review.
And that's at the plan reviewer's discretion, if the estimated value is determined to be unreasonable for the scope of work proposed.
The previous question that I saw a fragment of notes here, with a signed contract between property owner and contractor, will a signed contract between property owner and contractor be required? May the contractor sign as both owner and contractor? Panel, do we have an answer on that one?
Well, contractor be may the contractor sign as both owner and contractor. I think they mean on the online submittal.
This would be,
To clarify if that's the online application. If so, then yeah, so the contractor is signing for as the owner's agent.
I'll go ahead and unmute Angie so she can clarify. She has her hand raised. Angie, go ahead and unmute yourself.
Okay, I'm in. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Yes, that's what I meant on the online submittal. I don't know if you're seeing my question in time as I'm typing them.
Okay. Then
You
yeah,
can ask them here now that you're unmuted, I suppose, if it's
sign
following.
both sides. As long as you're authorized by contract between the contractor and the owner, you're acting as the owner's agent.
Perfect. That's what I needed. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Angie, does that cover the rest of the questions that you put in?
Yes, that's good. Thank you.
Yeah, thanks. Okay, moving on to the next question.
All right, so do we need to submit sheet indexes for every discipline? I would think or recommend architectural, electrical, all disciplines. If you provide a digitally signed sealed index, then you do not need to provide every page with the digital signature. If you do not provide that digitally signed indexing, then every page needs to be digitally signed.
Okay, with that, we can, the next one, we have, why would the insurance, et cetera, not just be stored in our profile?
Harish, that's a software question, so I'll let you take that one.
Right. So one of the things that we are working on is the ability to get that from your profile. The question is, let's say I registered for an account in, I don't know, June of 2020, and I don't submit an application until May of 2021. You had registered for an account a year ago. Now you're applying for a permit application. Is the city okay with those documents? See what I mean? It's been a year since a lot of things have happened. So right now we're recommending bringing those documents on each submittal so the city gets to see it. We can, and we are working on a feature where we store it in the profile, but then it becomes how dated is that document. I'm sorry, I didn't give a straight answer to the question, but those are some of the things that we are considering there.
Then we have a follow-up question. Again, it's kind of related to multiple documents. When uploading drawings, do you want separated sheets or a whole PDF drawing?
Whole PDFs, please.
Yes.
I think Deborah insisted on that as well. Yes. We want one set of civil drawings, sorry, one PDF containing all pages of your civil drawing and site plan and so on. We don't want individual files and pages broken up.
Okay. I think you covered this, Deborah. The question is, what about NOCs? Still emailing them or uploading them to the site once registered?
Again, if the NOC is available at time of submittal, it can be uploaded as a supporting document. If it's received after the submittal, it can still be emailed.
Okay, the next one, you just covered that question. And with that, we have just a few more here. There was a note on the site saying must apply residential, for example, of an AOC changeout, AC changeout. Can you explain the difference if it's a contractor submitting a permit? Seems like they're not asking this question. Contractor, okay, it's a contractor submitting the permit.
So previously, anything in a condo was considered commercial. With the new system, any AC change out, we submitted residential.
If it's a dwelling unit within a multi-family building.
So if it's just the condo, the one condo unit replacing their AC, it would be submitted as a residential now.
And if it's the unit for the commercial building itself or like a common area or something of that nature, then that would be under a commercial AC changeout.
Will there be somebody to talk to from the city if we get stuck and need help? Are the engineered drawings, the signature for the engineered drawings, does it need to be verified by affidavit prior to submission? Or will a signed sealed PDF be okay?
In terms of electronic engineering, it needs to be digitally signed and sealed. Once it is properly digitally signed and sealed, we are able to verify that digital signature with our PDF viewers.
So they will not need the verified affidavit that they're mentioning.
No. We can verify it by checking the digital signature as long as it's digitally signed and sealed properly.
And first question, will there be somebody to talk to from the city if we get stuck and need help? So the process would be the same, right? They would simply call as they do now.
Right.
Right.
And then final question here. I am a sign permit expediter. Can we put all signs on one permit since they're the same address?
Planning and zoning has allowed this, so yes, all signs can be on the one as long as they're clearly as long as they clearly show each elevation location.
Okay, that's all the questions we have.
Really quickly, Yuri, I do see, this is John McNally, I do see a hand raised by Angie Greason. I will go ahead and unmute if you'd like to ask your question.
No, she did speak, and we did, unless she has any others, but that question was answered. The hand was just not lowered.
Okay, all right.
Thanks, Angie. Okay. So that's all the questions we have. If we want to do the final agenda items here. If not, I can read us out.
I can go ahead and close us out, Yuri. My name is Talika Brown. I am the Development Services Manager, overseeing business tags and building permits. And I wanted to thank each and every one of you for joining our webinar today. And we hope that you're just as excited as we are to launch this new software to hopefully bring some efficiency and user friendliness to our process. We are open for suggestions. Please email us at buildingm@bbfl.us if you have any questions, concerns, or comments, or either any recommendations. Again, that's buildingm, as in mailbox, @bbfl.us. We appreciate your time today, and we thank you for joining in.
Thank you, Salika. And with that, I will just remind everyone that a recorded version of this session will be made available on boynton-beach.org. This concludes today's meeting. On behalf of our organizers and presenters, thank you for attending today's permitting workshop. Be safe and have a great afternoon.
Thank you.